Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're getting into yet another belated beauty report, this time for the month of February. So far my track record in 2020 has not been one of timeliness. However, better late than never, as they say. So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on a bunch of different products that I've been testing out over the last month. I know I haven't filmed a lot of videos since my last beauty report update. Things have been a little weird in these parts, not necessarily bad, but I've been in kind of a little bit of a funk, a little bit of a creative rut lately. I actually talked a little bit more about it in the video I just filmed. I did a chatty getting ready with me creating this look, so if that video is live, I will link it up here for you guys in the cards. But yeah, even though I haven't been on camera as much, I have been playing with makeup. I've been wearing makeup to work and testing these things out, so I wanted to give you some updated thoughts on them. On that note, we have a lot to talk about, and I have a baby shower to get to in less than an hour, so we're gonna try to keep things concise, which is hard because it's me. And yeah, on that note, let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about are this year's Pixi Pretty's collaboration products. Now this is kind of old news, I would say, because a lot of people got the PR package that had all of these collaboration products months and months and months ago. I just got mine, I think, at the very end of January, beginning of February. So these products are new to me and you can still purchase them. So I figure why not give you guys my 2 cents in case you have been thinking about picking up any of these products and you're kind of on the fence about them. So I did receive all of the products from this collaboration line in PR from Pixi. And I'm not going to talk about every single product because honestly, I didn't end up testing out everything. I've been trying to be much more mindful about what I can realistically use out of my PR. So if there are things that I'm not super interested in, or I have duplicate colors of a particular product, I am choosing to put some of those aside brand new to give away to friends and family, or to use in giveaways for you guys, as opposed to creating more waste. So of the things that I did try, these are my favorites. These are the products that I have gravitated towards the most. First is the Day Duo from Miriam Maquillage. So basically this is a set. You cannot buy these products individually. It comes with a liquid fairy lights and a liquid lipstick. There is also like a night version of this bundle. I did not end up opening that one just because I didn't think I would use the shades as much. But I have tried both of these products in multiple colors from Pixi's permanent collection, and I already love both of these products, so this was kind of like an obvious and easy love. However, these particular shades I think are absolutely gorgeous. This glitter, what did she call the shade? Mirage. Honestly, I think this is probably the prettiest liquid fairy lights that they have ever launched. It is stunning, and I don't know if on camera you guys are going to be able to pick up the reflect on this, but this has kind of like a duochrome glitter to it, so it's kind of like this pinky bronze with an intense like yellow gold shift to it. It's so dimensional and so pretty. I've gotten so many compliments whenever I have worn this glitter on my eyes. I've worn it over the powder eyeshadows from this collection, as well as over the Endless shadow stick, which we'll get to in a minute. And both times I feel like the effect that it gave was so pretty. Like, it's sparkly and shimmery, but still not so over the top that you couldn't wear it during the daytime. Like, I wore this to work one day to the office, and my like boss's boss complimented me on it and asked me what I was wearing on my eyes. So even though it is glitter and it is fun, I think because the shade is so neutral, like, it's not too over the top. So if you don't mind wearing glitter to work, this is something you can get away with. Not to mention the fact that this particular formula has very little fallout. It wears really beautifully. It's a lot less messy than using a liquid glitter. So this I absolutely love. Now, the Matte Last liquid lipstick that it comes with, I do like this liquid lipstick formula. I know it's very popular because it's not insanely drying and it's pretty long wearing. They're not my all-time favorite liquid lipsticks ever of life, but I do like these, and I think this shade is really fun. It's a lot more neon, I think, than you would expect it to be looking at it in the packaging. It's pretty, but it's bright. So you kind of have to be in the mood for a bright coral lip. This, I think, would actually be beautiful going into spring and summer. This duo in general, I feel like is giving me all of the warm weather vibes. So if you've ever been curious about these two products and you've wanted to try them, I definitely recommend this bundle because you'll save a few dollars from buying the products individually, so long as you think you actually would get use out of both of these products, and especially this lip color. Then, as I mentioned, there is this Endless Shade Stick. This was a collaboration with From Head to Toe. This is in the shade One and Done, which honestly really does kind of sum this product up well. This is a cream eyeshadow stick, and it's in a really, really pretty bronze color. This is something you could use as an eyeliner, or you could use it as an eyeshadow all over the eye, which is how I've used it. You can basically just like color it on and then buff it out with a brush to blend, and it really is a one and done. Like, it's a great one shade eyeshadow look. I think this color is also pretty universally flattering. I think it would look nice on a lot of different people. Obviously, if you're very, very fair, it's going to give you more of a smoky look, or if you have a deeper complexion, it's going to be more of a highlight or a light sort of shimmery wash of color on the lid. But either way, if you are someone that enjoys cream shadows, or you could use this as a base underneath other things, which is what I did with like this glitter, and I thought they looked beautiful together, and it was insanely long wearing. I think this is just a nice, very high quality, simple, easy, no fuss cream eyeshadow pencil. So if you're in the market for one of these, this one is really nice. Now, From Head to Toe did do one other collaboration product. She came out with a couple of shades of the Glowy Powder from Pixi. Now, this product has been around in their line for a while, but I don't think I've actually tried it before. So I was really excited to give this particular product a try, and I was surprised at how much I ended up liking this particular shade, which is Wednesdays. The other shade from the collaboration is definitely way too dark for me to use on my cheeks. I think that it would be much better suited to someone with a deeper complexion if you want to use it as a highlight or a blush topper. But this one is actually really pretty as a blush topper. It definitely has that like orchid purple undertone to it, which is very different and unique and kind of fun. It's not something that I would wear every single day, but with the right kind of look, I feel like this does give your cheeks a really, really gorgeous glow. And it's intense without being like too intense, which makes it a really nice blush topper. It's definitely not a highlight. Like, as you can see, this is way too dark for me to use as a highlight, but if I'm using like a matte blush and I just want to amp things up a little bit, I can layer this over the top and it will just give my cheeks a little bit of radiance and sheen, and then I don't even really need to wear a highlight. Now, this is kind of expensive, and knowing that it's the kind of product that I probably wouldn't wear every single day, I don't know that it's necessarily worth the investment. Like, if you think that this is something you would use a lot, it is a great quality product, but it is one of those things where it's kind of a lot for something that may not be your everyday go-to. Now, this, on the other hand, is something I think I could consider an everyday go-to if I didn't have a million eyeshadow palettes. So this is the I Heart palette, or it says I Heart palette Double Tap. So I don't know what the actual official name of this is. This is the Heart Defensor collaboration. So this is a little 8-pan eyeshadow palette with some really, really pretty warm toned shades. You've got this nice vibrant metallic pink, kind of like a deep metallic plum, and then a bunch of more warm toned neutrals. And I honestly think the quality of Pixi's eyeshadows is excellent. They're very underrated. A lot of people don't talk about them very often, but I think they're really good, and I think they're very approachable. The mattes in Pixi palettes are not the most insanely pigmented mattes you've ever used, but they're very blendable. They're very easy to build. They don't get patchy. So I feel like if you are someone that's not insanely confident with eyeshadow, you're not used to doing a lot of really complicated looks, these are very easy to use shadows. You don't have to worry about going in too intense with them and then having a hard time blending them out and things getting patchy. And then the metallic shades in here are just so buttery and so beautiful. They have a really gorgeous impact to them. Like, oh, look at that. They're just absolutely stunning. They look so pretty all over the lid. I do like to use my fingers to apply these just because I think that gives them the most punch. But yeah, even though this is not the most unique color story in today's makeup market, I do think the quality of these eyeshadows is excellent. I've gotten a lot of compliments when I've worn these eyeshadows, which is funny because, again, they're not anything that seems like particularly special to a makeup lover, but out in the real world, the people that aren't as obsessed with makeup, when they see these shades on my eyes, they apparently think they're really pretty. And I mean, I think they're really pretty too. And again, they're a little more office appropriate. There's like a little pop of color in here, but it's not too intense. So you can create some very pretty romantic kind of everyday looks with it. It's not too difficult to use. So this is something I have really been enjoying. And then last but not least from the collection, I want to talk about the Layers Highlighting Palette. Now, I really enjoy Rachel's channel. I have been watching her for years and years and years. I think she's a lot of fun. I feel like we would get along well if we were to ever hang out in real life. And she created this really gorgeous highlighting palette. And this is the thing with this palette. I think quality-wise, this is excellent. Pixi makes amazing highlights, kind of like their metallic eyeshadow formula is gorgeous and the glowy powders are gorgeous. I feel like the shiny things they do really, really well. However, I feel like this product as a concept, like the idea of a highlighting palette, is something that not everybody needs, and it's a little bit more expensive. So if you already have a ton of single highlights, shelling out the 20-something dollars to get this palette may not be the smartest investment, even though it's a really nice product. I think that the creative concept behind this is really cool. So Rachel, designed this palette with the idea of being able to layer the different colors together to create custom shades that work for your skin tone or work with whatever look that you're creating for the day. You have this deeper shade here to darken things up if you have a deeper complexion. You have this really cool purple shade if you want to add that more unique twist to your look. But for the most part, I mean, the majority of the product in this palette is a pretty kind of light, neutral, champagne-y tone that isn't super unique. Like, you can find these colors all over the place in your collection, most likely if you have a lot of makeup. So this is one of those things where I feel like I think it's great. I think that it's a really nice highlighting palette. I just don't know how necessary a highlighting palette is for most people. So moving on, I wanted to give you guys some updates on the Ulta try-on haul that I did a couple of weeks ago. If you missed it, I will link it up here for you guys in the cards. But I bought a bunch of drugstore products from e.l.f. and NYX and Physicians Formula to test out. So I wanted to give you guys some updated thoughts now that it's been a few more weeks. So first things first, the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. I am really loving this. I do honestly feel like this helps to control shine, and it does an excellent job of filling in pores and smoothing out skin texture. I have really large pores around my nose, forehead, and chin. It's also why my skin is so oily there. So this definitely kind of helps to kind of block all that up, if you will. So my foundation kind of glides on top of that area nice and smoothly, and it kind of keeps things from getting crazy shiny. Now, I haven't tried the original putty primer. I've only tried this matte version, but I have tried the Tatcha Silk Canvas primer that, the putty primer is a dupe of. And I definitely feel like this matte version is more mattifying than the Tatcha Silk Canvas. That one I feel like does make your skin very soft and it makes your makeup go on really nicely, but it does nothing for me as far as controlling shine. If anything, I think I get oilier when I use that primer, which is why I never shelled out the 50-something dollars to buy it in full size. I just have like a little mini version. Whereas this, I feel like, does dry down a little bit more matte and does control shine better, and it's $8. So I think if you have oily skin and you were curious about this, you can get it on sale or get it with a coupon or something, like, it's nice. It's worth checking out. Then there was this e.l.f. sponge, which I apologize for mine being dirty, but I used it for doing my makeup today. This is awesome. Oh my God, such a good sponge. It washes so well. It's so soft. It blends your makeup out so nicely. And it's what, like $5? It's funny because I didn't actually plan on purchasing this or anything. This was a gift with purchase that came because I bought $15 worth of e.l.f. products. And I'm so glad that I was able to try this because I feel like I would have slept on it otherwise. I haven't heard too many people talk about this product, but when I, shared with you guys in the Ulta try-on haul that I got this and we tested it out, so many of you left comments saying how awesome this was and how much you loved it. So it seems like the general consensus is, if you're in the market for a beauty sponge, this e.l.f., is it Total Control or Total Blending? I don't know exactly what the name of this is. I will link it for you guys in the description box. You can obviously find it at Ulta, but I'm sure you probably can find it other places where e.l.f. is sold as well. But this, super awesome. Highly recommend. such a good find. Unfortunately though, there was one like e.l.f. womp from my haul, and that was the Hydrating Camo Concealer. Now this is not as big of a fail for me as the original Camo Concealer, which I really just did not end up liking. Even when I didn't set that with powder, it made my under eyes look so creepy and old. And I'm not that old, I'm 32, but you know, I do have some fine lines in my under eye area, so I really don't want my under eye concealer to accentuate that and make my under eyes look even older. This I feel like was a little bit better in that respect, but it still didn't look hydrating. It's not a super emollient concealer. If anything, you know, it says it's a satin finish, and I think that is an appropriate name. It's just weird when you think hydrating and satin, maybe you expect it to lean a little bit more on the dewy side than on the matte side, and I would say this definitely leans more on the matte side of satin, if you catch my drift. Also, I feel like the coverage of this was a little bit weird. Like as I blended it out, I felt like it sheared the coverage out quite a bit. So I don't mind a concealer not being super full coverage, but I feel like this is marketed as a more full coverage concealer. And if you liked the original Camo Concealer for it being full coverage and you were kind of hoping that this would be that, but just a little bit more hydrating, I feel like this loses a little bit of the coverage with it being a little less drying. So yeah, long story short, like this is not the worst concealer ever. I don't set this when I'm using this on my under eyes because if I do add powder, it does look really dry and crepey, and it does dry down completely if you let it set on its own, so I don't really feel like powdering this is necessary. But yeah, it just did not knock my socks off. It did not impress me. Like I'll probably try to keep using this to not waste it. I have a lot of other concealer on hand though, so I don't know, maybe I'll pass it along to a friend if I don't think I'm going to enjoy using it enough. I haven't really decided yet, but it's definitely not something that I would repurchase or I would say to you guys you need to go out and try and buy. Honestly, my favorite concealer from the drugstore to date still is the Maybelline Fit Me. That one is so, so good. I haven't tried the Maybelline Age Rewind in ages, but that one I do remember also being really, really good. I would love to find a cruelty-free option to recommend to you guys, which I know e.l.f. is and Maybelline is not. So if you have another drugstore concealer to recommend that's cruelty-free, that's amazing, leave it for us in the comments down below. I've heard some good things about the Flower Beauty one and the Milani one, the new Milani Conceal and Perfect. That one is something I do really want to try. All right, so moving on, the next product from that haul to update you guys on is the NYX High Glass Illuminating Powder. This one definitely surprised me for multiple reasons. First of all, I didn't expect this to be a cream highlight when I purchased it. I thought it was a powder highlight, but it's definitely not. If anything, I would describe it as more of like a putty highlight. Like it's not a straight up cream, but it kind of has a texture of like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow or a putty highlight. It's beautiful. It has a very subtle, natural sheen to it. Like it definitely shows up on the skin and it's gonna give you a glow, but it's a very, very thin formula. It's not super blinding and metallic, so I feel like this is very friendly for a more natural makeup day, or if your skin has a lot of texture to it and you're afraid of your highlight really accentuating that texture. This, it's not like it's not going to accentuate it at all, because highlights are going to accentuate anything they go on top of, but this one is definitely a much more forgiving formula. And if you're having one of those days where you're wearing like a BB cream, maybe like a cream blush, I feel like this is a nice highlight to pair with that kind of look, because again, it's very subtle, it just kind of melts into the skin and it's really pretty. I will also say I ended up liking applying this with a brush better than my fingers, which is weird for it being like a creamy putty highlight. But I feel like with fingers, it can be easier to disturb the makeup you're wearing underneath. And I feel like with a brush, you can still pick up the product and blend it in really nicely. So I would recommend something like this guy right here, the Royal & Langnickel Highlight and Glow brush, which is slightly more dense, will help you to really pick up that cream product and it'll buff it on beautifully. Well, my camera battery just died because I forgot to replace it before I started filming, so I apologize if the background looks a little bit different, but anyway. Moving along, let's talk about Physicians Formula. So I think these are the last two products from my Ulta haul that I've tested out enough to give you guys an update on. Those are the Organic Wear Brow Shaping Gel and the Organic Wear Nourishing Lipstick. So I actually like both of these products. I don't think I would consider either one of these like a brand new favorite, but they're good. So let's talk about the brow gel first. So this comes in a couple different colors as well as in a clear formula. It has this super teeny tiny ultra microscopic wand to it, brush to it, that actually does a really decent job of depositing product through your brows. I feel like the actual product on here looks pretty natural. It holds the brow hairs pretty well. It does take some getting used to though. I felt like the first time that I used this, I made a giant mess, and that was more of just user error than it being a problem with the product itself. If you're used to using a chunkier spoolie, it just kind of will change your technique a little bit. So this is the kind of thing that I would not try out for the very first time if you do purchase it on a day where you don't have a lot of time to get ready, or you're really worried about how your makeup is gonna look. Maybe do it on a day where you're kind of like hanging out around the house or just running some errands, so that way if it doesn't come out perfect the first time, you don't feel so bad about it. But as far as a brow gel goes, like once I kind of got the hang of using this little tiny wand, I thought it was really nice. Brow gel is not the most exciting product. It's definitely more of like a pragmatic thing. You know, if you want your eyebrows to stay in place and you want them to look nice and polished, this will do the job. I'd be curious to try the clear one just to see how that would work to hold my brow hairs in place if I was using like a pencil or a pomade or something to fill them in. I feel like that could be kind of nice, and that would sort of mitigate the whole mess factor. So if you're ultra concerned about, you know, the tinted version of this getting everywhere, or you don't really need the extra tint because your brows already are pretty full looking, maybe the clear one would be pretty good. I think it, you know, is a nice product. And then the lipstick, again, is something that I like, but I didn't like fall madly in love with. And I think the reason for that is the texture. It's very thick feeling on the lips, which I'm not a huge fan of. If you've ever tried I think it's like the Comfort Matte formula from Urban Decay, they have this very thick sort of silicone-y feel to them when you apply them on the lips. And I feel like that's what this kind of has. It's very buttery, it's very smooth, the pigmentation is great, like it's a nice lipstick, but I feel like I can feel it on my lips, and I don't love that, especially knowing that there are other lipsticks in my collection that I enjoy the sensation of a little bit better. Now, this shade in particular I think is gorgeous. This one's called Buttercup. It's a really pretty warm, deep nude, and I think it's really flattering on my skin tone. I enjoy it a lot, and I definitely will continue to wear this lipstick, but I don't think I'm gonna go out and buy more colors of this. You know, like it's not something that I feel like is special enough that I want to add multiple of it to my collection, but I'm not unhappy that I bought it. It's a creamy lipstick. It's not super long wearing. It's gonna come off if you eat and drink, so just be aware of that. But yeah, I don't know. It was just like the formula was not something extra special. It's nice. It does feel moisturizing on the lips. It's a bullet lipstick. And I feel like there's not really much more to say about it than that. So let's move away from makeup for a minute. I've got a couple of other random things to tell you guys about. The first is a skincare product, and actually I was kind of mad at myself that I forgot to mention that I received this in PR when I was doing my new in beauty video a little while ago, but I was sent a couple of new things from Good Molecules. I got their caffeine hydrogel under eye patches, and then their new Clarify and Cleanse bar, which as you can clearly see has been well used by me at this point. I basically used this the day that I got it, like that night when I was taking off my makeup. I was so excited to try it because this is a soap-free cleansing bar that's infused with salicylic acid and kaolin clay, and it's supposed to be really gentle but also effective if you have oily combination or acne-prone skin at kind of rebalancing things and fighting off acne and keeping your skin looking clear. So I just really was curious and wanted to try this out. I don't usually use bar soap to wash my face because in my experience a lot of them are really drying, but honestly this has been really nice. It's not very stripping at all. I feel like it definitely does do a good job of really getting my skin feeling super clean, but it doesn't leave it feeling tight and stripped and dry. And you can also use this all over the body, which is really nice. I feel like this is something that's going to be super helpful for my décolleté, my neck, and for my upper back, because I feel like while I don't really get body breakouts a lot, I do get some congestion in my skin in these areas, and I would like to be doing a better job of taking care of them. So I feel like this little soap bar here will be the perfect thing for that. It's only $8, which I think is a really good price. And even though it's not like the most glamorous thing ever, like it's a really solid cleanser. I don't know that I would use this like to remove makeup as my only step. In general, if you're wearing a lot of makeup, I think it's best to double cleanse, go in with something oil-based first and then go in with another cleanser just to make sure you're really getting all of your makeup off. But as like a second step cleanse, this is fantastic because it really will get rid of all that oil cleanser residue and any residual makeup, and that salicylic acid will really like get into your pores and also help to clean them out as well. Then I wanted to update you guys on these beautiful brushes right here from Omnia. These I tested out on camera in the same video that I tested out a bunch of those Pixi products I showed you earlier. These were sent over to me from the brand. If you don't know, Omnia is underneath the Royal & Langnickel umbrella that also own Moda, so they're a sister brand to Moda, and these are a little bit more luxurious, kind of professionally oriented brushes. They use all synthetic hairs just like Moda's brushes do, but these ones actually mimic natural hairs in the way that they feel and they look. They're super soft, ultra luxurious, and honestly, I have been nothing short of impressed with these. So they sent me over their 13-piece rose gold brush kit, which are brand new. Previously, you could only really buy Omnia brushes individually. They are a little pricey, kind of similar in pricing to Sigma brushes, but I also feel like the quality is similar to Sigma. So I honestly have like nothing really bad to say about these brushes. I've been enjoying using them so much. This foundation brush has been a surprising favorite. I never normally use a paddle style foundation brush, but this weirdly blends product out so beautifully. Like it's perfect for kind of spreading everything out, and then you can lightly blend with a sponge if you need to, and it doesn't soak up too much product. It's just really fantastic. All of the other face brushes are so nice. The eye brushes, again, super, super soft, beautiful cuts. They make it really easy to blend in your makeup. Like in general, I have been very, very pleased with this Omnia set. I would love to try some of their other brushes and some of their other cuts because obviously this is just a portion of the entire collection that they offer. I think there are like 26 brush cuts maybe in the whole line, and this just includes 13 of them. And now this set, which does come with a little vegan leather brush wrap here, retails for $150, which is a lot of money for a brush set for sure. So I'm definitely not saying to you guys like you need to run out and spend $150 on these brushes. But if you like don't have brushes or you're looking to upgrade your collection and you want like one nice comprehensive set that has a lot of really nice brushes, I mean, this one is really excellent, and I'm pretty sure that they have sales fairly often. I do have a discount code with Moda, and I'm thinking it should also work with Omnia because I think it works overall on the entire Royal & Langnickel website, and that is Blushing Birdie. I'll have it in the description box for you guys. I think it saves you guys 10% or 15% on your orders. Anyway, the long story short, if you like Moda, but you've always kind of felt that it's a little maybe too whimsical, too fun, you want something that's like a step up in quality and a step up in the look and feel, something that's a little bit more luxurious and a little bit more professional, I feel like Omnia is really, really nice. Definitely worth checking out. If you do buy the brushes, I don't think you would be disappointed. And finally, last but not least, I want to talk to you guys about a perfume. This is something that I've had on hand for weeks now, and I've been waiting to tell you guys about, but it hadn't launched and it was kind of hush hush. So now that it's officially for sale on the Sephora website, I can actually talk about it with you guys, and I'm very excited. And that is the Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar. Now, Clean is one of those brands that's been around since like the early 2000s, and I remember really enjoying their perfumes when I was like a teenager. Like I think a lot of us, if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, remember using like Clean Skin or Clean Rain. But it's been a long time since I've owned a Clean fragrance, and I know a couple of years ago they launched their Clean Reserve line, which is sort of like their luxury branch of the brand. So they have reserve blends of a lot of their classic fragrance, and then they've added some new things. And this guy right here is their newest scent, which is Radiant Nectar. And what's cool about this is that they developed this scent and launched it basically right in time for Earth Day because they're doing this campaign. I believe it's called Protect the Species that they're sponsoring to help protect endangered bees. So they launched this guy with like this special limited edition bee packaging, and it's a really pretty floral scent. So I know that they must be donating some amount of money. I was unable to find like the exact percentages or amount in my research, but it looks like they are, doing some part to help sponsor this campaign. And as you guys are probably aware, the bee population is in severe decline, and bees populate a third of the Earth's food supply. So a world without bees is a world with serious problems for humanity. So it's important for us to do things to protect them. So I thought it was really cool that Clean decided to do something earth-friendly with this new launch. And the perfume itself smells incredible. Now, when I originally reached out to them to apply to be a part of this campaign, so this was sent to me for free, and I received it in exchange for doing a blog post, which I will link for you guys in the description box if you want to check it out. I'm not being paid or anything like that to talk about this in this video. I just genuinely ended up really falling in love with it. And it was one of those things where fragrance is a little weird. So it was kind of like one of those things where I heard about the campaign and the Earth Day thing, and I was interested, and I said that I was interested in trying it out, and I was hoping I would like it, because if I didn't end up liking the scent, that would really be a huge bummer. But fortunately, this has been like my addiction lately. Oh my goodness, it is so delicious. There are notes of pear and ambrette seed in here, and a bunch of things that I have no idea like what they're supposed to smell like orris butter, and I think like carrot seed and something like that. But I would say primarily this is a floral scent with like a really juicy, fruity undertone to it that's not overly sweet. So it's not juvenile in the way that it smells, but it's still very clean and fresh, very daytime, very spring appropriate. It's just the kind of thing that makes me feel like frolicking in a field of flowers or something, like it's just very bright and happy and uplifting, and I am obsessed with it. I think it's so nice. The lasting power is awesome. I sprayed this on myself in the morning and it lasts for hours. It's funny, I've been wearing it pretty much every day, and now my coat smells like this. So every time I put my coat on when I leave to go to work, it smells like this perfume, and it just makes me happy all over again. But yeah, needless to say, if you're in the market for a new scent for spring, I would highly recommend going to Sephora and seeing if they have this in stock for you to smell, because it's definitely worth checking out and seeing if you like it, because I think that it's lovely. It is a little pricey. It's $98 for this bottle, but this is the 3.4 fluid ounce version. I know they do also have a travel spray that I think is 28, and I think it's 10 mils. So if you don't want to invest in the giant bottle, or you have a ton of perfume and you don't need this much, that is a nice option to check out. All right, you guys, so I think that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed hearing my rapid fire thoughts on all of these products. If you did, I hope you will consider giving this video a thumbs up. I always really appreciate your support so much, and definitely leave a comment and let me know if you've tested any of these products out. What do you think of them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Are we on the same page or not? And if you haven't tested any of these products, are any of them on your radar? Are they on your wish list? I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. As always, if you're not subscribed and you would like to see my face again in your subscription feed, I hope you will consider clicking that button before you go. Hopefully it will be in your subscription feed more often than it has been lately. I know I haven't been uploading a ton, but thank you guys so much for bearing with me and for still being here for me. I appreciate it so much. And on that note, I have a baby shower to get to, so I'm gonna run, but I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.